Y'all probably read the title, but I don't consider the Xbox X ROG Ally an Xbox at all, even in the slightest. I don't really like to get on the whole console warring thing, but this is one thing I've seen a debate on all across Twitter, where there's some people saying it is an Xbox, some people saying it's not an Xbox. But I'm here to set the story straight. It's not an Xbox. But I'm not just going to sit here and be like, oh, it's not an Xbox, and then move on. No. I'm going to tell you my reasons on why I don't believe it's an Xbox. These reasons are going to get progressively better. So they're going to start off with, in my opinion, my weakest argument on why it's not an Xbox, and it's just going to get progressively better. So it's going to go from my weakest argument on why it's not an Xbox to my strongest argument on why it's not an Xbox. Anyways, I'm just going to quit yapping. I'm going to get straight into it on why I don't believe the Xbox X ROG Ally is an Xbox. So starting off with reason number one, it's a collaboration system. That's reason number one, and why I believe this is not, well, an Xbox handheld or an Xbox system. Not really an Xbox handheld. Again, this is like a weaker argument or a weaker one, but there's a reason why it's at the top of the list or the bottom of the list, whatever direction you want to go in. Yeah. And something I want to make very, very clear, and something I want to be very, very fair on, is technically the PlayStation 5 is a collaboration system, because if you didn't know, AMD actually did a lot of the hardware in the system. Now, the reason why I don't call the PlayStation 5 a collaboration system is for this very, very simple reason on why I consider this a collaboration system, but not the PlayStation 5. And it's as simple as this. It's not marketed as a collaboration system, or technically it is, or it's not. So for an example, the PlayStation 5 isn't marketed as a PlayStation X AMD system. It's not. It's marketed as a PlayStation. AMD's not on any of the marketing for the PlayStation 5. It's not. AMD's nowhere to be seen. Maybe they're somewhere in like the terms of service, or somewhere in like somewhere, but it's not outright marketed as a AMD system, X PlayStation system. It's not at all. That's why I don't consider PS5 a collaboration system, but why I do consider the Xbox X ROG Ally a collaboration system, because everywhere with the marketing, everywhere with the marketing, when they release a trailer, stuff like that, when they release a billboard for it, or when they do anything like that, and when you go to buy the system, it's not just Xbox that's on it, it's also ROG. That's where I come from. It's marketed as a collaboration system. It's not just marketed as an Xbox handheld. It's marketed as an Xbox X ROG Ally handheld, meaning ROG is all over the marketing for this thing, everywhere. You know, again, whether that's when you buy the thing on the box, whether that's in a big billboard, whether that's in a fucking trailer for the system, wherever it is, it's marketed as a collaboration system. And that's why I consider it a collaboration system, you know? Yeah, and something I want to make very, very clear, this is just one of the many reasons on why I don't consider this an Xbox. If this was the only reason that I had, I would not be making this video right now at all, but I have multiple other reasons on why I don't consider this an Xbox, and in my opinion, better reasons on why I don't consider this an Xbox. Anyways, let's just go on to reason number two. I don't want to jerk y'all off any longer, and I just want to get straight into, well, the other reasons and keep making my stellarly good argument, because I'm just the greatest at this. And anyways, yeah, going on to reason number two. Hey, so it's editing me. So something I need to say is, if I sound really weird, it's actually because I'm sick. So just keep that in mind. That's why I sound weird right now. But anyways, yeah. So I just wanted to say something about the video. Not the video, but this specific part. I mentioned cross-compatibility a lot, and I want to make something very, very clear. The term is not cross-compatibility. It's actually Xbox Play Anywhere. So every time you hear me mention cross-compatibility, just replace the word cross-compatibility with Xbox Play Anywhere, or everywhere. It's one or the other. I don't know why I was saying cross-compatibility. It's Xbox Play Anywhere. So just remember that. Yeah, I'm gonna let you all get back to the video. Anyways, all good. Being no cross-compatibility yet with the entire Xbox library. So to pretty much run through what I mean by that, if you don't know what cross-compatibility is, now something to keep in mind, cross-compatibility has a couple different meanings, but the main meaning of cross-compatibility is if you buy a game over on your PlayStation, like let's say hypothetically you bought Cyberpunk on your PlayStation, you can't use that same copy of Cyberpunk on your PC or on Steam or on Xbox. You can't do that. So that's a game with no cross-compatibility on a platform that doesn't support cross-compatibility. But now let's go into a game that does support cross-compatibility, and that game is State of Decay 1. So let's say hypothetically you buy State of Decay 1 over on your Xbox. and then you want to play that same copy of State of Decay on your PC, you want to do that. Now, you can't use that same copy of State of Decay to play it on your Steam, but you play that same copy of State of Decay on your Xbox PC launcher app. So that's a game with cross-compatibility. Now, you might be thinking, what does this have to do with the Xbox X ROG Ally? And I'll tell you exactly what this has to do with the Xbox X ROG Ally. Now, the Xbox X ROG Ally is backed by Windows, not by the Xbox OS. So it runs Windows and it runs the Xbox PC launcher app. That's what it runs. That's what it runs. That's what it does. Yeah. So if, let's say hypothetically, a game that doesn't have cross-compatibility, I don't believe the new Oblivion remake, I don't believe the Oblivion remake has cross-compatibility between Xbox and the Xbox PC launcher app. So let's say you buy Oblivion over on your Xbox. Maybe it does have cross-compatibility. I could be wrong on that one, but you know, whatever. Let's just say hypothetically it didn't. If you buy that game, if you buy the Oblivion remake on your Xbox, you can't use that same copy of Oblivion on your Xbox PC launcher app, which means you can't use that same copy of Oblivion on your Xbox handheld. So you've got an Xbox handheld that can't play your Xbox games, which is wild. And I want to give credit to Xbox where credit's due. They are trying to add cross-compatibility between their libraries. So they want you to be able to play, a copy of Oblivion on your Xbox PC handheld or your Xbox handheld system. So they want you to be able to do that. You just can't do it at this moment in time with their entire library. But again, credit where credit's due. Over 3,000 games over on the Xbox are cross-compatible, meaning, you can play certain games on your Xbox PC launcher app or on your Xbox handheld. So there are cross-compatible games and they are making an effort to try to add cross-compatibility, but I did add this one because when the system does launch, not every Xbox game is going to be cross-compatible, meaning there'll be games you just won't be able to play on your Xbox handheld that you'll be able to play over that you have on your Xbox. So certain games aren't cross-compatible, some are, and a large amount of the library is, but there are some games that aren't at this moment in time. In the future, that's not going to be the case, but right now, there are some games that won't be cross-compatible, and that's kind of a problem for me, and that's one reason why I don't believe it is an Xbox at this moment in time. But that's not a permanent thing. Again, they are making the strive to add all games cross-compatible. It's just not right now. I can't drill that point in anymore. Anyways, going on to reason number 3. Yeah, so reason number 3 is an interesting one, because this is not my number one reason on why I don't consider this thing an Xbox, but I consider this a very strong argument on why it's not an Xbox, and it's as simple as this. It's backed by Windows, and it's not backed by the Xbox OS. Now, granted, the Xbox OS is a heavily modified version of Windows, but it's so heavily modified from Windows, I would just consider it its own OS completely, because, well, it is. It's literally considered by everyone its own OS. So what the Xbox OS is when you load up or launch your Xbox Series X or S, you're loading up the Xbox OS. You're not loading up Windows, you're loading up the Xbox OS. Its own OS, its own thing. Even though it is technically still Windows, it's so heavily modified from Windows, I still consider it its own thing. But when you load up this Xbox X ROG Ally system, you're not loading up the Xbox OS, you're loading up Windows. And that's, for me, one of the big reasons on why I don't consider this an Xbox. It's backed by Windows, not by the Xbox OS. And this isn't even my strongest argument, in my opinion. This is, second to best strongest argument. I have a stronger argument, and that's going on to number 4. And number 4 is really simple. It doesn't play Xbox games natively. So what do I mean by this? When you load up a game on your Xbox, you're playing an Xbox version of that game. When you load up, when you load up one of your games on your Xbox X ROG Ally, you're not playing the Xbox version of that game. You're playing the Windows PC version of that game. And that, for me, is the number one reason why I don't consider this thing an Xbox. And it's because it's not playing the Xbox games natively. It's playing a PC version of these games. So when you load up, let's say, Cyberpunk on your PC, you're loading up the PC version of Cyberpunk. You're doing the same thing on your Xbox X ROG Ally system. But when you load up Cyberpunk on your Xbox, you're loading up the Xbox version of Cyberpunk, not the PC version. But on this handheld, you're loading up the PC version of Cyberpunk, not the Xbox version of Cyberpunk. And for me, that is the number one reason why I don't consider this thing an Xbox. So yeah, that's why I don't consider this thing an Xbox. Now, something I do want to make kind of clear is it does technically have Xbox's marketing on it, so it does have the Xbox logo, it has all that stuff, but I just don't think that's enough to really consider this thing an Xbox. Like, yes, it does have the Xbox logo, but, you know, you got all these other things. I think it's just more accurately a Windows handheld. I just don't think it's actually an Xbox. But anyways, I want to know how you all feel about this. Do you consider it an Xbox? Do you think it is an Xbox? And hey, if you do think it's an Xbox, maybe make a counter argument to my argument. Maybe you have information that I don't know about. Something I want to make very, very clear. I'm not some sort of like unmovable rock. You know what I mean? Like, I'm willing to change my opinion if you make a good enough argument or not. And then I want to know, if you don't consider an Xbox like me, maybe, you know, talk about it. Maybe talk about it in the comment section below. Maybe add something to my argument that I ended up missing. Anyways, I want to know how y'all feel about this entire situation. And yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna dip. I'm gonna let y'all keep watching YouTube and doing your thing. And yeah, that's it. All good.